does now mow. Things do now grow. Tangents now soar.
The network is alive! I feel the signals! Burning truths connecting the dots! They can't stop the flow!
Woo-wee, baby! We are here! Welcome, everyone. Welcome. It is a Monday. It is another Monday. It is July 20th, which is amazing because we are actually getting into the summer vibes here with episode 45 of DiscussThing's Tangent Kings, and everybody's here. Hello, everyone. I am happy. I am happy because me personally, I have been on a hiatus for an entire week, and I'm happy that we're still back here and doing this thing for one last time because this is the last show. I'm just doing this at the beginning, so we just have the protection spell from every Sunichu style cancellation attempt that we can have. Welcome to this show that we're going to be having for you, and we are going to start with some very nice topics. We do have some ongoing stuff that we have been talking about for several weeks already, but apparently the fun at some specific console companies never stop, and we are about to cover that as well. And with that said, I would like to say hello to our dear audience. I see a lot of great people. I see Steven Bromley, I see Galaxy, I see Furious Dan, I see Byron Cities, and I see Slay. Hello! And Slay has actually rated us. Thank you very much, Slay. Thank you very much. And I'm very happy to have everyone here because after a week away, I'm a bit rusty. Also, I'm a bit hot because it's 98 degrees currently at 10 o'clock in the evening. And so I'm positively melting currently in my chair. But that is okay. If I happen to become a liquefied blob, then I'll just become an American. I'm sorry about that. So, with that said, let's go to our panel. And I see that our dear dignified cartoon gentleman is on the left, or rather right corner. How have you been, sir?
Who, me?
No, the other you.
No. I've learned from experience that the less I say, the better off I'll be. Okay? That is literally true. The more I speak, the more I end up blowing shit up. But it is great to be here. I hope you're all doing well. I don't know, Byron. I don't make the intros. I made the music. I didn't make the intro. Okay.
Yes.
Hey,
right.
Byron has the Jim Crow icon now. What was that about?
No. He's always had the crow, but put a nice yarmulke on his head, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Waiting for that.
But I'm doing well. It's great to see everyone. A lot of great things happening, folks. It's still in the early stages, but we've got a panel set up for a Saturday show exclusively on Rumble, which could turn into its own weekly show starting in August. So that's very exciting. Lots of things in the pipeline. The issue is keeping the train on the tracks. Okay, folks? Because we can't do too much stuff at once. Otherwise, you go batshit and kill your mother. Isn't that right, Chase?
Well, he hasn't done it yet.
I have missed this.
No, that woman is a poltergeist. She's draining my will to live every single day and my energy bill because she leaves doors open when the AC is on when I'm not home.
And she
That's
has
why it's
an
very
offer, right?
important. That's why it's very important to replace your top windows with doors so that when she leaves the top doors open and walks through them, she is no longer a problem for you. Okay?
No, it's important that women die first because my father wouldn't have done this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Women, am I right? But before we catch up with everyone else, let's catch up with the people in the chat, as well as all of our lurkers wanking off to today's show, because that's what lurkers do, guys. They don't work.
Oh,
They
yes.
don't work. They don't pay taxes. They just masturbate while watching or listening to us.
You sure you're talking about chat lurkers or another group?
No, they're called lurkers for a reason, folks. It's great to see Helzer. It's great to see Byron. It's great to see me. It's great to see Jace. Great to see Slay. Great to see Furious Dan. Shout out to the Fist of Shame. Who else is here? Great to see Steven. Shout out to you. You know, I know a Steven who recently had a baby. So congratulations to that
Nice.
to that Steven. Best of luck having a daughter in this fucking world.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, she'll be a teenager in the 2040s. Can you imagine that? Imagine that.
I do not.
Jace
wish
will be
to-
dead, so he can't imagine that. But everyone else, imagine that. Living to the 2040s.
I think Jace will outlive us all.
No, he won't.
Out of pure desire
No,
to
won't.
outlive his mother.
I genuinely
You
think
fail.
his mother will live to 2040 and Jace will not.
I think it's gonna be an eternal battle. Like
Hmm.
this is gonna be some epic comic book shit.
Okay, guys, fun fact. Does anyone else here have a crypt room dedicated to their dead loved ones? Or just dead people in general? Anyone? Anyone?
That is what she turned my dad's office into.
Hmm.
It's like a
room.
puzzle room in Silent Hill. There's none but fucking pictures of dead people, dead cousins, my dead father, dead relatives of hers that I don't remember because you know she assures me they wiped my ass when I was little. I don't remember these fucking people, but they're dead. And also my friend who died. He's on the
Yeah,
wall
the bounty
too.
hunter. The black
Yes.
bounty hunter who got a white pill.
I should
straight in the
preemptively
skull.
hang my picture on that wall.
God. But does anyone else on this panel have a crypt room? Anyone?
We got like a little thing dedicated to my dad and everything, but it's mainly just like a picture of him and some of the last things that he had before he died.
Right. So only two people on this
But no-
panel have a crypt room.
It's
folks.
not a room. It's just like a few things that's just like on a table.
I'm gonna
A
hang
crypt
this picture in the
table.
crypt room.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
The
you said that
vaccinated
a few
black
times.
guys.
They're such good people. But
They're
great to
dead.
see Galaxy in the chat. Who else is here? So many great people here. We appreciate you all. Like the stream, share the stream, of course. Donations are always welcome. With said donations, we can help cats instead of eat them. Okay.
Just so that's what I envisioned when Jace started explaining the crypt room. This is what's happening there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, she is an Aztec, so that does explain it. Okay. So on that note,
Why do we see a gif of what was going on when how the old politicians that are still around?
I understand it now. Jace's mother is a congresswoman.
Well, no, she's not, because we wouldn't be poor if that were the fucking case. Maybe I should ever run for Congress. We get that
I think
APAC money.
that's how Mitch McConnell operates.
Oh, breaking news. Jace's mother is a libertarian congresswoman.
Damn.
Also
Oh,
known as
shit.
a contradiction in terms. Galaxy, how have you been, buddy?
I've been okay. I just realized when I was looking at things for like Streamladder for those clips, they changed it for their free trial. It used to be 2 weeks, and I
What's
just
the free
checked.
trial now?
It's just 1 week.
Oh, yeah, no, it was 1 week when I did it.
Really? Because it said 2 weeks. Last week I think I looked at it. Now it says
What,
1
really?
week. Yeah,
That's
it's like they changed it to 1 week.
No,
But
I had a 1 week free trial, too.
Oh yeah, well I will have to wait until next week then to actually do the clips because I don't want to I don't want to have to like pay for it or something like that before I know I got to get money.
He's
So-
going to register, use it, cancel, and then he's going to use like one of his other VTuber costumes, make another new free account.
No.
No, that's me. That's Guy Incognito. Every month.
no, I'm not going to do that.
No,
But
no,
anyway,
that's Galaxy
it was
Blue.
just-
You're gonna be like a phone.
So,
I
so
guess.
does
Yeah.
Galaxy have like a group of people? One of those people is called Solar Red. The other one's called Planet Red.
No.
And then the one beneath him is Continental Red. And then beneath him is Country Red. Then State Red. Then City Red. Then Country Red. You should have like a universe, Galaxy.
You said country red twice, but no.
Literally, is your dad Universe Red?
No.
Oh, well,
I don't know. I don't
have...
know. I don't know if you even know why I even named myself this.
No, I don't. No.
Kai already knows, I'm sure, and so does and probably Jace as well. What do you guys think? I will let you guess.
I know. You named yourself after your grandfather.
No.
I feel like you told me, but good lord, that's probably long ago that I can't remember.
Yeah, me too.
In my country, we have a Galaxy chocolate bar.
Power Rangers Lost Galaxy.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
That's right. Because your old profile picture used to be the Red Ranger.
Yep.
Your raid alert on Rumble is the Power Ranger thing too.
I
Yeah.
used to have
All my alerts on Rumble are Power Rangers. So,
Damn.
I used to have a Power Ranger costume. It was white.
I think you still have that.
yeah, that's
Thank
not.
you for your,
Yeah, that's
thank
not
you for
really.
your introduction.
My
Galaxy.
Tommy from Mighty Morphin.
Yeah. Not really, but you get the point. Kai, how have you been, buddy?
Oh, I've been fantastic. Just trying to get through these 10-hour-a-day shifts at work and everything, and not wanting to blow my brains out. Thank God we got a deal on energy drinks up there. Buy one, get one free, and it's essentially $2 for 2 energy drinks. So that's been keeping my blood flowing.
Well, if I have a recommendation, instead of killing yourself, kill someone else. Helzo, how have you been?
I'm just the energy drink got me because at this point I think that's gonna be a good choice for me because I'm literally melting. I don't know how I'm functioning at the moment because my brain feels like it's liquefied and it's boiling. It's 98 Fahrenheit currently, and it's after a heat wave and a storm afterwards. And currently everything is molding together into something that makes this country, or at least my place, completely unlivable. I pretty much feel like I'm in Jumanji right now. But I'm being great. I had a forced week off from YouTube because of long hours at work. And now I'm planning to get back if I don't die tomorrow. Other than that, nothing else, because I've just been trying to relax after office hours and just trying to collect my thoughts. And happy that I managed to actually survive up until this point.
Excellent. Well, now you know how your ancestors felt under Ottoman rule, because you are
Yes.
literally experiencing the climate of Ottoman Bulgaria.
Yep, and when they were doing the Yenisari training, that was an amazing time in our forced history.
Guys, you don't want Turks running your country. You just don't. Take it from me. Take it from Elzo. His people had 500 years of Ottoman occupation. 500.
Yeah, fun fact, how the, for those of you who don't know, how the Yenisari troops, that are historically Ottoman troops, are created. You take little slave boys, you put them in the hottest climate of the Ottoman Empire, you wrap them in a you wrap their head in a wet turban that shrinks through the heat, so you basically do moderate brain damage on their head. And when they're brain damaged, you train them to be brainless soldiers for your empire without them even remembering that they're not from your country.
Yep.
That's
known as
amazing thing that was happening for 500 years.
Also known as how do you create a Kurdish person? But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot of things to talk about. I think the best thing to start off with is we should talk about what's actually on the thumbnail. I've always been of that point of view, right? Let's watch China's version of Real Steel. Xi Jinping presents Rice Steel. Take it away.
It's something that I've watched maybe 100 times for several reasons. It's fun.
No, put the
It's-
sound on.
I'm gonna put the sound on. Yes,
Right,
It's
'cause-
apocalyptic, and this is what our future is going to be when anyone misbehaves in
Let's
public.
place
Oh,
bets.
no.
Helzo, let's place bets. I'm betting on
All
the
right,
white one winning,
yeah, I'm
one
on the
wins.
white one as well.
right? Anyone here mad enough to support a black clanker?
Like
Anyone?
this is how fucked you are. You gotta be a black clanker.
Oh
I,
no.
I would not because I already know what happens to it.
Oh no.
Galaxy's already watched the pilot for Rice Steel.
We're gonna watch it, and then I would point your minds towards specific details after we watch it, because this is as fun as it is terrifying. All right.
This is terrible. Oh. Oh, this is. No, 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 no. Welcome to the end times, guys.
They're not even attack each other now.
No, this is amazing. Guy doesn't. Black clanker has no head.
So he's a black man.
He's still. Yeah, he is, because
Why is he dancing? The white one's dancing now.
He's dancing.
Oh man!
Uh-oh.
He's drunk after a bar.
Oh no.
Hubris.
Someone said that at least this was
exists
better
even
than
among robots.
the McGregor fight.
Oh, you can see they're actually like. You can see some. You can see the people out in the stand there. They're like controlling it with remotes.
Yeah, just like in Real Steel.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just like to point out that even if they are remote controlled, the yellow people need to seriously work on remote controlling their bots, because that was fucking shit.
Well, I think they're just like really bad at the robots themselves are like too like loose, I guess, maybe when they like move them and they move too fast.
It is shit. But did you see how they were jumping and what kind of acrobatics they were doing? Does any of you? Is any of you capable of doing something? I'm not.
I just think they were moving too fast for them, for the people that actually controlling them to actually know what they're going to be doing next. So that was the problem.
The
It
thing
wasn't
is
them.
that-
It wasn't them having bad control. It was that the robots are going too fast for them to actually
China
coordinate.
has come a very long way from a third world starving nation in the 50s to a second world growing industrial power in the 80s and 90s to now a first world juggernaut whose biggest problem is there aren't enough Chinese people. Okay? They're doing shit like this. They went from starving to doing shit like this in 70 years. If they can
And-
solve the big population crisis issue, then who knows what they can do in 70 years' time.
Not 70. Not 70. This is a progressive curve. In 7 years, I gave it 7 years. If you have clankers that move like that, never mind that they can control them. Never mind. But you see how they jump, what kind of kicks, what kind of balance the fucking thing
Yeah.
has. Now imagine that you just
Getting up immediately too from falling.
yeah. You just need to tweak the controls a little bit.
You know, and I know Kai probably is aware of this because he knows a lot about this type of stuff the way that I do. You know how the Decepticons started, guys?
Oh
They
yeah.
were gladiatorial combatants for the Quintessons. Who,
Yep.
by the way, the Quintessons used to actually be buff, and they became the fat, lazy Quintessons you see in Transformers because they got lazy from letting the Autobots do all the work and the Decepticons do all the gladiatorial combat to keep them entertained.
Yeah.
And then there was one
Autobots were
gladiator
slaves,
robot.
basically.
Yeah, there was one gladiator robot that got sick of their shit and kicked them the fuck out, and his name was Megatron.
Yeah, and he also joined forces with Optimus at that time too, and they were together
Yep.
at first
Who was,
before they fought each other.
Yeah.
He was
He wasn't called Optimus; he was called Orion Pax.
Orion Pax. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is that you have this, and I'm gonna show you something else. This is from June. This is from
Is from what?
Engine AI.
June.
Oh. Oh, okay.
This is
I thought
the
you said something
engine
else.
AI has a T800, by the way, T800 human and robots from Chinese company, T800. Engine AI, and they're currently training. They're doing that them. on purpose.
No, the Chinese have never watched Terminator.
No, I'm sure they have. This is the same build, by the way. This is 1 month. Oh, looks like the vodka one that time. Yeah, this is 1 month ago. Yeah,
Boy.
but 1 month. Yeah, but 1 month later. But 1 month later, we have.
I'm
the-
sorry
yeah, we have.
I'm sorry to be the guy to
advanced
say
just
this.
1 month.
I'm sorry to be the guy to say this, but that white clanker was far more able to operate without his head than any of us would be. Just saying.
Yep.
Just saying. Right?
That's the terrifying part, because you need several years, and this is gonna become terrifying because you just need to put a little bit more advanced AI to operate them and to be able to calculate all the movements and everything and remove humans.
I, for one,
And
can't
yeah.
wait for Jack 7 to hit me with a Cossack dance and kill me.
Yep. Well, they're already dancing in that one video, so
You don't
it's amazing.
Jace,
It's
you don't
amazing because
understand.
just like
Jace, you don't understand. That person is just an average Russian soldier fighting in Ukraine. Right? It's crazy. The thing is, right, you say, oh, if it's a little more advanced. It's good enough now, right? How the fuck are you supposed to fight a spurgy clanker on the battlefield, right? You shoot off its head, it's still going to be like, Tong Shin, Tong De, Honga, Dong, 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 as it snaps your fucking neck through sheer force of numbers.
Digny brings up a very valid point that that needs to be, brought up in this whole mix, and that's that. Think about like the average person in this day and age, because I've said this before. I've said this before on Cancel This Podcast. I've said this before on game streams. We have a problem is that a lot of the people who talk the most shit have never been in a fight in their fucking lives. Now, what that means is essentially we've got a whole group of people that they don't even stand even like half a chance against one of these robot clankers because they've never thrown a single punch in their lives. They don't understand basic combat. This is what happens when you get rid of boys will be boys, because growing up boys will be boys. A lot of us old people learn how to fucking fight. All right, and the playground. Kids got into fights, and that was just part of growing up. They got rid of that. You think one of these autistic weirdos with the anime PFP and the trans flag that is mad about our opinions on video games knows what the fuck to do when faced with combat?
No.
They can't fight off a human, let alone a robot that feels no pain.
To
look,
quote
they,
the
they might
Chinese
give him
clanker.
they might give him to operate this.
Guys, I can literally, thanks to the power. Oh, damn. All right. Thanks to the power of Google Translate, I can say in Chinese, traditional Chinese, what the clanker will say to you as you're bleeding out and dying. It would say the following: Nishige Kaluin de Rushan Shunkai Wandile, which is a Chinese version of saying, you are doomed, fleshy fool. Right? Because this is the thing we don't seem to understand in this space, is that they don't even have to be a tenth, 10% of the capability of a human being. As long as there's 20 of them for every one human being, they're twice as strong as the average human. Strength through numbers.
Yeah.
The Russians and
overrun.
the Chinese know this argument to a T, because you know what they do when they face a problem? There is no problem too great for the Russians and for the Chinese, or for, I say, the East as a whole, that a pile of dead bodies can't solve. That's our opponent. And they're going to treat living, breathing people and animals, because they do it to animals as well, that way. What are they going to do to clankers, right? They will build them for the express purpose of killing anything they don't like.
You have to also consider something
else. You don't train these robots. You just program them. And once you have programmed the AI of one dog to execute the task, you can just replicate the AI to all other units. And these units are infinitely cheaper and much easier to reproduce than the humans, because it takes at least, at the very least, from let's say from the Ukraine-Russia war, from the reports, it takes at least 3 months to train new troops.
Oh yeah. Whereas
This is
I
3
know-
months to train them for the minimum, by the way, for the absolute minimum, how to hold a gun, how to shoot moderately well, so they're good meat for slaughter, and that's it. Just to divert fire. You don't train them to be special ops. These fuckers, no, just train one for a year, like input every command, every scenario that you can train them in, and then just copy and paste the results to the others. And that's it.
We have an example of this, right? We have examples of this when tanks and aircraft and even, weapons, even bullets, they all go through a production line, right?
Yep.
Hell, we even see this in Star Wars with the droid foundries. They will be made the same way the Ford Model T was all those years ago. They will be mass produced and overwhelm us through sheer numbers. Russia and China, even in its weakened state, the Russians still have the military capacity to mass produce these things. They have enough metal, they have enough iron, they have enough coal, oil, and gas to run a military machine.
Don't even need that. You're just gonna make them out of polymer plastic. You don't need the metal. You don't need them to be viable for, let's say, magnetic waste and stuff like that. You can just make them polymer. It's amazing. It's amazing. And here we are enjoying a clanker fighting match. And just what you were saying, like what Guy was saying, like it's gonna be like Transformers. They're gonna, if they don't rise up, they're just gonna be used to rise up against people.
Yeah, there'll be a means to an end, right?
Yeah.
I don't expect my tank.
Unless they rise up against the soul, which is gonna be even better.
I don't expect my tank to shoot me, but you never know in this day and age. And put it in a frame of reference you can understand, right? Just utilize, instead of tanks being made on a production line, it's these clankers, one after another, right? I'm not talking thousands. I'm not even talking tens of thousands. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of these things coming off a production line every month, to the point where Elon Musk has this aim that there should be more clankers on planet Earth by the end of this century than people, just for starters, right? And if that exponentially goes up while the human population goes down, well, we find ourselves in an uphill battle against things that will not stop
I just want to show you
advancing.
something, guys.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The Terminator, $9,000. Terminator is the first ever flamethrower wielding robot dog. This
boy.
This quadruped is coupled with the arc flamethrower to deliver on-demand fire every 30 feet, firing range, 1 hour battery life, remote operation with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth.
Oh,
Only
man.
$9,400.
The duality
Finally.
of man.
This is.
Finally, I can
add
get a
this to my cart.
Japanese dog.
I can add this to my cart and I can buy it if I had the money. Made in
I
the-
can buy a Japanese dog, ladies and gentlemen, because those fuckers love to set people on fire. Okay?
And as
Well, I
by the way, as Maverick said, here's the battery. This is the side of the dog. So just so you know, this is important information to pass down on the younger generation. This should be learned in school, and this will be learned. And remember, kids, shoot on the side of the robot dog that is throwing fire at you. This is great survival tip for school, because that's the stage we're in.
Well, I mean, there's a duality to this. On one hand, I hate to see that this might be the harbinger of our doom. On the other hand, I want to see the fuck around and find out the next time some people in the ghetto decide to burn down the AutoZone in honor of George Floyd. So, that could be fun. That could be fun.
It's the argument my mentor made to John in regards to that mass shooting that happened in Canada. If there were like these booths, right, on every street corner where a clanker comes out in case of an emergency. Okay. And they're on every street corner, like CCTV cameras are on every street corner in response to a crisis. The nation and the world, I think, would be a much safer place. Or the shopping mall example, where almost everyone in the shopping mall has a clanker, right? And then some motherfucker tries to shoot a lot of people in the mall, and then all the clankers sync together like they're Borg, right? Because it's an emergency situation. So in an emergency, well, fuck your private property rights. It's an emergency. All your clankers are now going to work together to take down this mass shooter. I don't think anyone would have a problem with that, right?
No, no,
But
they
we
won't.
all know if they can all sync together in a so-called emergency. If I say, white lives matter, all the clankers sync together and beat the shit out of me, right?
Yep.
Because we know the authorities have that mindset when it comes to, oh, you have an opinion different from me? Gotta snap your neck, I'm afraid. Take the knee.
Yep. That's the bad thing, because you have ultimate security, as we have been shown in a lot of sci-fi movies and TV series, but you also have ultimate of like authoritarian regime. You won't be able to say anything. You will be grammar checked violently. You will be forced to conduct properly, and there will be peace through force, and every deviant would be shot on sight or taken, or an even more dystopian thing, taken into a learning center to be re-educated violently, and they'll be taking people from the streets. If you have a spat with someone, you'll be just
That's
taken.
the sad thing, though, Helzo, right? In the 20th century, in the battle between democracy and dictatorship, the organic way of doing things, right, the physical way of doing things, made it a lot harder for dictatorships to really be effective and made it a lot easier for democracies to take form. Well, that's flipped on its head in the 21st century, thanks in part to technology. Even the Soviets had a plan, OGAS. They called it cybernetic socialism, right? Where everyone would be connected under a digital framework. Unfortunately for them, they didn't have the foresight to really invest and develop that, and that's why the Soviet Union collapsed. The Chinese took that concept, combined it with American technology that surveyed Iraq and Afghanistan, and created their own social credit system, a product of Soviet ideas and American technology, right? Because supposedly it's perfectly fine to do it against innocent Iraqis and Afghanis, but it's not all right to do it to Americans. That's a sensibility we have here, but that's a completely different topic. The point is, though, and this is the point I'm going to make to all of you guys, thanks to the rise of digital technology, the situation has flipped. It is now far easier for dictatorships to be effective, and is far harder for democracies to be effective. And when I say democracy, I mean one person, one vote, everyone can partake in the political process. In dictatorships, whether they're authoritarian or totalitarian, they all have one thing in common. Not everyone can participate. Who's a citizen? Not everyone who's a citizen can participate in the political process. That's why the West is becoming more authoritarian and more totalitarian, because the European American leaders realize that the only way they can dominate the digital future is to take the bull by the horns and lead from the front. Because the Chinese have done it, to a certain extent, the Russians have done it, and they have both respectively benefited from that, despite, various lapses, especially in the Russian case with their endless war in Ukraine. So that's the difficulty we face, because the digital world clashing with the physical world does not help freedom. It does not help democratic values. It does not help this principle of we can all work together and stand together, right? Because you've got two different worlds colliding with each other. And that causes conflict, that causes chaos, that causes instability. That is all damaging to freedom. That's all damaging to, liberty.
Yeah, but you can have both things. Like when you have society moving the way it's moving, and it's moving collectively. The thing is that the digital world should have been left a little bit more free, and it's not, because if you remember the days where you didn't need an account for everything, and you didn't need to face ID everything and to register for everything, they did exist in the early days of the internet. And because it was decentralized, it was basically true freedom of expression. Now you don't have that, because everybody has it as a means to control you, and they have molded it to be better controlled by you, by them, against you.
I always think, and Kai, Galaxy, I would be very interested in your perspectives on this, right? I personally think that the idea of a free internet was a rogue idea that went viral, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, and in a sense, it was a happy accident for the freedom of the West, right? That created a whole new generation of bright ideas, bright minds, and it created a new world, the digital world, a brand new world from scratch, from almost nothing, from a bunch of zeros and ones. And in terms of civilization, guys, two worlds cannot exist simultaneously, right? Only schizophrenics think that is the case, right? You can't live in one reality and another. But the internet allowed that to be the thing, right? And in free Western-style democracies, both are equal, both have every right to exist, and both can work together to advance one another. Whereas in the East, it's very simple. If you want to build your own world, you are a threat and you must die. It's as simple as that. That's why the Chinese stopped their digital world manifesting before it could even start, by merging it directly with their physical world through a social credit system. The Russians have just decided to isolate their country and do it that way. So, we'll start off with Kai and then with Galaxy. Do you think, personally, that a reason for the chaos and instability in our parts of the world is as a result of the physical aspect conflicting with the digital aspect?
Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Because one thing that, well, you're too young to remember this, but people like me, Jace, Galaxy as well, we can still remember a time before the internet was in every single household. Where if you wanted something to do, like, you went outside to do it. You wanted to learn, like, the answer to a question and all that stuff. You actually went out and did the research instead of just like, oh, it's just typing in the phone. There we go.
Yeah, well,
We had to go to the library.
Pretty much all the internet did, it just made people even more lazy. All they done was just. If they felt one way, all they had to do was just, like, go on to, like, forums and whatnot, back when those were, like, the big hot thing to do when the internet was truly starting off, and would get validated for, should I be feeling this way? It's like, yes, I feel the same way, and just bouncing back and forth off of people who had, like, the same feeling that they had, instead of, like, it's just, pretty much all the creation of the internet did was that it made, like, the generations after us just become even softer, instead of, like, having to go through the trials and tribulations of actually growing up and realizing that is that the world is much bigger than you. You ain't shit, and the sooner you learn that, the better.
And a big part of that, I think, is because these people don't fucking go outside. They don't have to. You could order some on Amazon, and in some cases get it the same day. You don't have to go outside to rent movies. You go on some streaming service. You don't have to leave your house. You don't even have to, when you do leave your house, you don't have to talk to a cashier anymore, because there's a self-checkout now. These people have no social interaction, and so they become so soft. But they also, in a crazy ass way, I think we were more fucking tolerant of every different subgroup, because you had to go out there and coexist with everyone. These people go in there, we're all marginalized. You're marginalized because you stay in your fucking house. That's why, and you've never dealt with other people.
You're in an echo chamber.
Yeah,
You know,
because
I-
think back to like. Go ahead,
Oh.
Galaxy.
What do you think, Galaxy?
I was gonna say that the only way they can really fix that is if they make a law, basically pretty much make it sure that everyone cannot be on the internet until they reach adulthood. Like after they get through all this school and everything, get
Okay,
around like 18 to
Okay.
20 or something like that, somewhere around
Okay.
there, and then they
Okay.
can get online.
Okay,
Yeah, but-
Galaxy, I can understand where that comes from, but the problem is that has to deal with the fact that the reason why people are like that is because nowadays parents don't want to raise their kids.
Exactly.
They let TV and just like I cannot tell you how much it irritates me whenever I'm at a Walmart and I see like a 3-year-old in a stroller and they're just playing on a fucking iPad.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what?
I'm not going to ask the question I have in my mind in regards to that guy, but if I might, before
No,
Jason,
it's the fact that you just have like these parents that don't want to be parents.
Absolutely.
They don't.
I know,
Want, they don't
but-
want to do anything about it. They will just stick something in front of their kid to just have them to be like, here, child, have this and shut up. Leave
See,
me alone.
that would be the thing, though. They won't be able to do that if they can't use internet when they're
Well,
kids.
that's the
But-
double-edged sword of freedom, right?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
why we're not all created equal. It's the number one lie in the American zeitgeist because everyone means everyone, right? It doesn't mean only people with the mental capacity to make decisions. All I know it was all men, right? But it evolved into all people. All people are created equal. Bullshit, are they, right? Freedom is a double-edged sword. You give the freedom to determine for people to determine their own destiny, and that's great if they know what the fuck to do or what the fuck they're doing. In my case, because I don't know half the time. There is a increasingly large percentage of the Western population that want to be led to a brighter future. That doesn't mean freedom. That doesn't mean liberty. That means social peace, namely order, law and order, and economic prosperity. You know, as long as my bills are paid and my belly's full and I can raise a family, that's it. No freedom, no rights, none of that fucking bollocks.
Yeah, but that is because of what the current situation is all around the world. You can't afford to do that. Bless you. I want to address what Galaxy said. This is exactly what we were talking about the OSA, COSA, and these acts that we have been covering in the previous shows. And I understand that. And I understand that a lot of people will support that, and especially a lot of parents, because it will take the burden off of them to ensure that their kid is not on there. And I would understand why it's that. Because this is a multi-layer problem. You have parents. These parents, if you want to be a good, proper parent and raise your child properly, you need one parent to be more attentive or constantly attentive. That means you need a single income household, probably, or passive income or something that it will leave more freedom. You don't have that for the majority of parents. Like 98% of parents in the world probably can afford that. So you have either both parents working or one parent working and one doing something to do. Like just bring in additional income,
where the man will go out and earn the money, and
exactly, and the mother will be there to
children.
take care of the child, exactly. And because you don't have that, you have either both parents, then you have children either in daycare or in a babysitter or for some other reason, like just switching around. And you need to also do stuff around the house. Then what do? You have the ultimate pacifier: the TV, the PC, the tablet. And you do it because you need to basically arrange your life around it. And it's becoming increasingly harder to balance this. So when something like that gets proposed, they're like, all right, okay, so they're gonna just ban this as a law, and it's gonna be better for me, you know. However, when they ban this, the parents are gonna be like, okay, I still need this child to shut the fuck up for an hour or two, and because they don't want to sleep now, and I need to clean the house, or I need to just breathe a little or go take a shower because I smell like turpentine or something, I'm gonna give them my tablet with my access, and they're just gonna browse. you know, and it's getting increasingly harder to do that because it's a multi-layered problem. You need to have that what Digny said, the financial stability in order to be able to raise kids without that technology. Because in the past, because I also remember in my country, I grew up without internet, without a PC. We had to go
Without
out and
anything.
shout. Yeah, basically without anything. We have to go out and shout from the below the balconies for our friends to go out, and we had our mothers shout from the balconies to bring us back in. We didn't have mobile phones. We didn't have stationary phones a lot, and we were just more free. We didn't have that technology. We were outside, and our parents didn't have the technology to keep us that occupied with the digital world. That's the bad thing. However, sadly, this is how the world is going. For us, this is bad.
Do
For
you
the
know
new
in
generation,
America
this is gonna be
there's
normal.
only one state where you could raise a family on less than $100,000 if you wanted the trad wife kind of life, and that's West
Minnesota.
Virginia, and you would still have to earn at least a minimum of $70,000 a year in order to, you know, basically allow your wife to stay home with the kids while you made the money. You'd have to make at least 70K, and that's the cheapest state. So the average is anywhere between like 150 to almost $200,000 a year you would have to make in order for your kids to be at home with one parent and you know, be relatively stable, and that's bad. Because I think that in some regards, some of these people might have been better off raised by wolves than weird trainee demons that tend to become school teachers these days. And that's just, you know, where we're at, unfortunately. And I think that it's been bad for society as a whole. You know, how many people don't know like practical things? Like I'm not a mechanic, but you know, I at least know how to change a tire. I know how to change my oil. I know how to you know, do, you know, these basic tasks with my vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Because you need to have practical skills so you don't have to rely on people. Nowadays, people don't even, you know, I mean, people don't know how to even handwrite shit. You know, because they're so used to using their phones. You know, there's a whole generation of kids that they can only read time digitally. They can't read the old clock.
Yeah, the hands.
Let
Yeah,
alone,
they can't read the hands on the
an
clock.
analog clock.
Guys,
I'm
Guys.
going to tell you one thing. I'm just going to say one thing because if you think back to your parents and your grandparents, our way of life, the way we grew up with the music that we grew up with, what was happening and the increasing digitalization and more TVs and stuff like that was to them the beginning of the end. Because they grew up in a different world. We grew up in a different. We grew up without internet. We grew up without what we have now. We grew up without being able to currently see each other on a screen and battle for a couple of
absolutely.
hours. So for the next generation that grew up since childbirth, the way that we are currently experiencing, and we're for the lack of a better word, bitching about it, because for us this is the beginning of the end, and I do believe this is the beginning of the end. And I hope that it's not. But if it's not, then that normality, when Digny says that it's going to be less freedoms, when we're going to have more digitalization, more automation, people will be much more softer. They won't be able to, as Jay said, change a tire. They will be just already digital, separated. They'll be in the bubble, in an echo chamber. And this is going to be how society will be in the future. This will be a next societal evolution of people, and we're going to be witnessing this, and we're going to be the old man bitching about it and screaming at the clouds. But the clouds that we're screaming are going to be the data clouds that are going to hang over us and drinking all of our pure water.
I'm going to give you a personal example. 2 generations ago, my father's father was born in 1900. My father was born in 1955. I was born in 1999. 3 generations over nearly 100 years. My grandfather went into World War I at the age of 14. He lied about his age. Went through the whole war on the Western Front from 14 to 18. All right. Got his first... He killed a motherfucker before he got his first job. Okay?
Yep.
Right? Crazy. He worked in the steelworks for most of the interwar period, till the Great Depression, when he lost his job, because everyone lost his fucking job. Then he went back in the military because of his Great War experience. Then he fought in World War II, first in North Africa and then on the Western Front. And then he came back home, right? And he was childless at the age of, 45? So he got a nice lady, banged out 13 kids in about 20 years, which is crazy, and died as the Berlin Wall was falling in 1989. And one of his last words was, "Thank fuck they're going," right? And then he died. It was late 1989. That man went through fucking horrors, and he had a big drinking problem. You would too if you went through his experiences, guys. But
Did you get to
guy,
watch Danny Finkelstein's mom become a bar of soap?
I wish my grandfather turned Finkelstein's mom into a bar of soap, right? But he didn't have that privilege, right? My grandfather had a far more difficult, life-threatening existence, right? He was not free for the first 40, 50 years of his life. He endured 2 massive world wars in which he could have died at any day during those conflicts. But he lives a more free, more peaceful, and more prosperous existence than I do. Because long-term peace is the worst kind of war, right? Long-term instability is more dangerous than fucking world wars. Yes, fewer people die, folks, but, suffering, the kind of psychological warfare and culture warfare we experience, only adds to the level of, well, there's no way out. There was a way out of the Great War, fight or die. There was a way out of World War II, fight or die. Is there a way out of this that anyone can see? There's no great objective. There's no conquer Berlin. There's no destroy Germany, destroy Italy, destroy Japan. There's no end in sight.
I can
And
tell you
that's
one
the
thing.
difficult part.
Regarding your grandfather's story, yeah, he lived in what we now can consider fucked up war times. I can give you an example with cavemen and people who were early hut settlers and basically just used hunting before agriculture was invented, and society, like people and tribes, started actually building bigger settlements. They were free. They were living in the harshest environments ever. They died at the age of 25 to 35. They could be mauled by wolves and whatever at every single point in their lives. They were fighting with neighboring tribes for territory or for resources, but they were free. That was a simple life and a simple existence. When agriculture and society began to basically collect all together and decide to build cities and stuff like that, and the first slave labor started, and people decided that they're like, this hunter is a bigger caste than this hunter because this clan is a little bit better than this clan, and you started having the first castes, the first these people are better than other people. That's where the problem started, and they were relatively living in peaceful times, like more organized times. Everybody had a place to live, a warm hut, or even, let's say, a clay house and stuff like that. But it wasn't as free as it was before. So basically, it's a cyclical matter, because what you explained with your grandfather, he lived through harsh times, but he didn't have to live through what we're living now, because it's entirely different thing. And if he were alive today, he would probably think, okay, these are horrors beyond my imagination. I didn't fight for this.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Helzo. I mean, people say, could we have World War III? We're in World War III. We've been in World War III for about 20 years at this point, if not more, 25 years.
It's just a little different than people expect. People expect World War III to be the all-out thing that will end in a couple of months with nukes and stuff like that. That's just going to be the end stage.
Right?
That's just going to be the end of it.
I think the end of the Cold War was its own kind of culture war, folks, in a sense. But it was us versus them. Now the culture war is, there are no sides. Everyone has a side. Everyone is their own fucking side, right? And that's the big issue with freedom, right? You give everyone the ability to determine their own destiny, and most of those people will be fuck-ups. In fact, I'd say a vast majority of those people will be fuck-ups, because that is the nature of living your life the way you want. right? And you'll be susceptible to all kinds of crazy things. We see this in our politics. We also see it in our pop culture, right? Oh, hey, Russo brothers, do whatever the fuck you want, and you get Avengers Doomsday. Literally. Literally. You, Christopher Nolan, great guy. Do whatever you want. The Odyssey. Like, oh, fucking wonderful. Give people too much determination over their own destiny, and they will do whatever the fuck they want to the point of destroying themselves and everyone around them. It's a clear fact. That is why, unfortunately, we cannot live in a completely free society. That is why, unfortunately, we cannot live in this libertarian utopia where the state doesn't exist and the people rule everything. It's like it's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. It's as much a fucking fantasy as the communist utopia of the state will fade away and the people will take all the power.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know why the Libertarian Party of America follows me on X after I've made such a statement about them comparing their ideas to be as utopian as Marxism. I don't know. Maybe they recognize that, and hopefully we can come to a compromise. But if you look at our pop culture, it is everything I've laid out is exemplified with the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, and the Russo brothers' Avengers Doomsday, right? Oh, here's full creative control, guys. Let it rip. Yeah, great.
Well, I mean,
Fucking
you know,
wonderful.
I think if you're talking about the whole thing with the Odyssey, I mean, the big thing that it comes down to is that corporatism in some ways also backfires on us. Everyone's got a price for the $1 million man, including our brand of influencers. Now, you've touched on this plenty yourself, Digny, is that we have a new sect of content creator on our side that wants to just play it safe. And if they are approached by the establishment with a check in hand, hey, say the Odyssey is the best movie you've ever seen. And we've seen a lot of paid promotion. Jack Posobiec, paid promotion. Right? Wait a minute. Jack Posobiec, a guy who's been anti-DEI, saying Odyssey is great, but then you see under his tweet, paid promotion.
Yep.
And a lot of our establishment is going that way.
Well, an
By the way,
example.
that just proves that enough money can turn anyone.
New
that's
culture
the side of-
is old culture.
Exactly. The culture war can descend into its own culture wars, and then you get comic shape people trying to rip each other to pieces. We've seen many examples of that.
Yeah.
In regards to creators, the third step in the cause is be the change you want to see. It's highlight the problem, find solutions, be the change you want to see. Right? Each step is incredibly more difficult than the previous step, right? Especially the third step. Being the change you want to see in this fucking economy, good luck to you. Very few creators, very few content creators, live streamers, social media personalities, whatever you want to call them, don't have the resources to really be the change they want to see. So what's the priority? The priority is gathering resources, gathering support, gathering funds, gathering everything necessary to be the change you want to see, or at the very least support other projects that you believe is going to, make a difference. And you see a lot of examples of that. A great example would be the Rippaverse and Eric July's projects, right? Now, in trying to be the change you want to see, there's a very, very dangerous aspect to it. And that is, well, I'll give you your investment, my good man. You just need to support me. You need to support my project. You need to support the current thing. Eh? Come on. You do that, and I'll give you all the resources you need to create your own project. Want to sell plushies with your nice hat and your nice little gown? Hey, you want to do that? Oh, why don't you come over to this like con where you can all take photos with one another, and one of you looks a little too fat, and you don't like the fact that you look fat, so you condemn people for drawing you to look fat. If you know, you know. Wink, wink. No, it's not the Quartering who I'm pretending to be. In fact, the Quartering is a fantastic example of this. Very prominent creator, had access to a lot of resources, but sought to get more resources by compromising himself. Of course I'll do a deal for for coffee, right? What's it made of? Blood. Oh, that's bad. How much money is it? Lots. Okay, selling blood coffee. Literally, there was blood in his fucking coffee. That's why I call it blood coffee.
Hey, now MSN presents side scrollers, guys.
Oh no.
No problem with
Okay.
that. It's again, enough money will do that. Enough
Yeah.
money, especially.
Well, that's a red flag.
You may
right?
be a successful content creator. That doesn't mean you have money. That doesn't mean you're not struggling, and they can fish you out. They can fish out.
I
that you're
am
struggling.
poor.
The
Exactly.
inverse is also true, Helzo. You could be an absolute dog shit creator, and the money rolls in
Yeah.
for one reason or
By
another.
the
Maybe
way,
people.
a
Damn,
lot of
next
dog
time
shit,
add Candace Owens, man.
and a lot of dog shit creators that somehow made it to become popular enough are they don't have the integrity to not accept any deal. And they
Well,
accept
I'll
all
give you an
deals,
example.
and they get the money, and they don't care. If you don't care, look, the richest people in the world are the people who don't care. That's it. That's the sad part. If you have any sort of integrity, if you have any sort of moral conscience, if you have any sort of a backbone and morals to stand on, and want to preach what, like, you want to practice what you preach, especially on YouTube, newsflash, it's gonna be way harder for you to become successful. You might become successful, but it's gonna be way harder if you don't have any problems of accepting literal blood money sometimes and just promoting whatever you're told you're promoting. You're gonna get a lot of paychecks eventually. You're gonna get
can
filthy
only-
rich, and you're gonna be hated. But you
I can
don't
only
care.
speak from my own personal experience and from my analysis of creators and communities over the past 5 years. That's all I can bring to the table. And I can tell you this, right? The most moderate, the most flexible, and the most connected will succeed. Quality has nothing to do with it, right? Being likable has nothing to do with it. The key is, can you be flexible? Can you be moderate? Can you resonate with audiences? Because that's also very important. And can you appeal to what I like to call the lowest common denominator of people, right? You just check out the Playboard website, folks, right? Some of the most popular creators in the entertainment section within the United States of America, right? Most of them get a lot of money in, but there is also some less well-known, less popular creators that also rake the money in, right? I'll give you an example of one of personal experience. Hypnotic, easily in the top 50 most super chatted content creators in the entertainment space in America, right? But if you look at how much support he has relative to others, say Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic has like over 10 times the support level of Hypnotic, but Hypno's getting in more financial resources than Nerdrotic. Now, how the fuck does that make sense, right? How is SNH getting more resources than FNT, despite the fact FNT gets 20 times the fucking, no, actually 50 times, 20 to 50 times the viewership on average? Doesn't make any fucking sense. But
yeah, I mean,
Hypno
at this
finds a
point,
way.
FNT is so safe they're showing up on shit like Piers Morgan. You think they're going to see Hypno on Piers Morgan Uncensored?
No, no, you'd be more likely to see me on a black woman. Right, because that's how unlikely it would be. But the point still stands, right, folks? And I am using these examples. And you can also use Smash JT as an example. There was a time, especially in 2024, because that was the year Smash exploded, when he was in the top 50, top 100 most super chatted or donated creators in America, right? And they weren't the most well-known people. And I'm sure the same will be true of new people coming along and new rising stars entering the arena, not just in the pop culture scene, but everywhere.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that is in service to a greater cause. And
I
it's
feel
that
like I'm
greater-
up there, but it's just with Roadkill alone, and then Silver Ninja bringing out money, so I don't have to play Dustborn. I actually got on the bidding war yesterday. Beautiful.
I should probably have Torture Stream as well.
Look, I did it.
Apparently,
I did
that
it.
brings money.
No, it was
Well, what's funny is people will pay you to stop playing it, as Ninja proved yesterday.
I never had that problem, right? I never had that problem. when I played Dustborn, everyone wanted me to play it, right? I wanted to play it because I wanted to complete it before Atreus did, because Atreus tried with his clown makeup and failed, right? Talk about a black man not committing, folks. But I played it. I completed it. It was fucking torturous, but it was very lucrative in the process.
Hey, in case I forget to ask Mustafa, because I need to get clarification on this. I'm pretty sure that if you were of the Muslim faith and had vitiligo, the other Muslims would stone you to death because they would be worried that you have some sort of demonic presence. I'm just saying, the idea of first of all, a morbidly obese Muslim is haram in and of itself.
Yes.
But a morbidly obese Muslim with vitiligo and anxiety, driving the car, by the way, they don't allow the women to drive. So that's all sorts of haram. That doesn't. It's a fucking contradiction.
Look, I know a lot of people have problems with Islam, right? But I can tell you right now that Islamic people don't have autism. Islamic people don't have disabled people. Islamic people don't have women's rights, right? They don't even have democracy. Okay? Okay?
Welcome to the last episode of the show, guys. It has been fun.
Do you know how in Muslim countries they know you're a criminal? Right? Do you know how? Because you don't have your hands or feet. Literally, they can tell who is a criminal and who is being convicted of criminal activity, because almost 1-for-1, everyone who is disabled in a Muslim country is disabled because they have committed a crime.
Yep. Those are the old Bulgarian laws from one of our accounts. If you lie,
Where's Sneeko at?
if you lie, you get your tongue cut off. If you steal, you get your hands cut off.
Yeah.
That's an amazing thing. Look, on that note, a lot of people are having problems with these types of punishment and stuff like that, but I would beg to differ, because I want everybody who's watched, let's say, a rapist or a mass murderer just get scot-free or with a minimum sentence. I want to know what the first thought in everyone's head was. Because my first thought is, I want to drive over. Like, I want more for because he's a cunt.
You know what's funny about that, Helzo, is that more of the world believes in that kind of justice you just said than doesn't. It's only places like America where we don't do that. Even Japan believes that if you steal, you should have your hands removed, or at least a couple fingers. So, I mean, like, we've got it all wrong here. If we removed hands for these type of crimes, maybe we wouldn't have dudes getting out of jail 35 times, stabbing some girl on the subway, got me a white chick on the way out, and then being found too retarded to stand trial.
That is why, guys, right? A truly equal, democratic, free world would not be a world we recognize, right? Because 25% of the world's population is Indian and Chinese, right? Another quarter of the world's population is Muslim. So if they work together, as unlikely as that sounds, folks, for obvious reasons, but let's just say they put aside their differences and work together. If the world was one democratic place, they have half the vote, they all vote the same way, everyone's under their rule. And it's only going to get bigger, especially with the Indian and Muslim populations, right? So this is the thing we need to understand, right? Western supremacy, whether it's in politics and especially in pop culture. Let's focus on the pop culture aspect. Western supremacy in pop culture is coming to an end, especially with all of these god-awful movies and god-awful games coming out, right? So we're sunsetting. Other parts of the world are sunrising, okay? And you could easily say China, but it's not going to end with China. It's going to end with a bunch of countries that we would laugh at today developing their own gaming industries and sunrising while there's a fucking moon in the sky of our fucking industry.
As long as it's not like Sony, they're going to be great.
And that's a consequence of being on top for too long. If you're on top for too long, hubris sets in. You think you'll never fail, which means you'll always fail, because that's how the world works. Okay? And that is why we got to get our head in the game, got to highlight the problems, find the solutions, try our best to be the change we want to see in our entertainment, so that the sundown can be another sunrise, so we can get over the dark period, because it's coming.
That's what's
Some
gonna
would say it's
happen.
here.
That's what's
But
gonna
I thi-
happen, by the way. It's gonna happen with indie games, with more small studios, especially in the gaming industry and in the movie industry as well. As we can see, independent movies are slowly getting traction. Big budget movies are absolutely getting destroyed. Even The Odyssey, by the way, which first weekend, okay, you got your budget for just making the movie back from the theaters. However, counting that, what was it? Cinemas take 50% of the revenue. Then you have around 200 million in marketing and stuff like that, and other expenses. Then we're gonna see how it goes in the second weekend. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, that I think that this movie will barely break even in the end. It had a really good start because it was hyped to infinity, and a lot of people who are outside what we do, what we say, what we research, they just want to see a great movie. They know Christopher Nolan, they trust him, and Christopher Nolan is one of the few directors that still has some, let's say, power over there, just like something to his name. I think that The Odyssey will flop, not flop, but it will barely break even after all the costs have been calculated.
It's designed.
It won't make its money back. Basically, you're
Well,
saying.
I hope
but
so.
not flop.
I think it will. I think it will.
No,
but
it won't,
It's not
because
going
it's-
to win,
It's not-
like, because
but
you
it's
have
not the point.
250 million. You have
It's-
250 million dollars of budget.
In this instance, money has got nothing to do with this project. This film, Christopher Nolan made this film with the express purpose of winning awards. That's it. Ticking boxes and winning awards.
In
It's as
fact,
simple as
the
that.
in fact the DEI hires of the movie are in it for very short lengths of time, which proves that the only reason they were put in there to begin with was to
Yeah.
check the box, because the Academy has these rules now where
Yeah.
you have to have a minimum amount of trans people, a minimum amount of black people, otherwise no Oscar for you. So, Nolan's going to
Exactly.
play ball because he's an Oscar whore. It's the same thing. Sorry, Galaxy. It's the same thing as being an achievement whore. But it's what you do.
You do what you got to do in order to get the supposed recognition from your peers. That is what we are dealing with. And once
Now, see, here's one thing that I do have an issue with when it comes to all that. It's the fact that we also got to take other examples. Like, let's not forget another movie that came out here recently. It was that Moana live action remake of a movie that came out less than 10 years ago. But that's besides the point. One of the things that they heavily marketed that movie on was the fact that it was as close to being as
accurate as possible.
as accurate and well, not accurate, but
yeah, they basically was accurate. Yeah.
Well, depicting the actual culture that the movie is supposed to take place.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There was accuracy.
Well,
they were trying to do
well,
accuracy for it.
Well, yeah, that of like Indonesian culture and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
And then they try to say, "Oh yeah, this is all like fictional for Odyssey. Why is it got to be accurate?" And it's like,
Yeah, but the
And it's
live
like-
action one
it's
was just a
No.
recode of the movie.
Here's what. No, the issue with that is the fact that that this whole entire thing of them saying like, oh, we need to have like this many representatives of this culture. We need to have this many representatives of that culture, and all that other stupid gay bullshit.
Yeah.
It's and when you take a look at the Odyssey, a fully Greek story, and you barely have to know Greek people in your movie, and you try to say that Jesus, and you try to say that
Oh boy.
we want other cultures and everything to be represented. It's like bullshit. All I can say is bullshit on that.
Yeah,
because you don't
have
give
the
a
culture
damn
that you
about
should be
culture.
representing there.
Well, I'm very glad. I'm very glad to point out that Polynesian and Indonesian have as much in common as a Muslim and a Jew do. So yeah, it was Polynesian culture, kind,
okay.
not
Whatever.
Good
The movie
job.
was
Good
fucking
job. No
stupid anyway.
Indonesians are here to hear you say that because they want to destroy Polynesian culture, not make it. But
My point still
looking-
stands.
Exactly,
The thing is
right.
about, and this is one of the things about the Odyssey. And what I want to mention is that Galaxy, I think you said that it's not gonna make its money back, or was it you, Kai?
That was
Yes.
Galaxy.
Yeah, I think it will. The thing is that it already made the production budget.
It's not gonna make a profit, I would say, though.
No, it's
So-
not gonna make it. It's not. It's gonna make a minimum, like a minimal.
Okay,
like
here-
maybe 10 to 20 million minimal profit. You know.
Is
Okay,
this out in the
here's-
Chinese market yet?
And I don't think it's gonna be out there anyway.
I want to see.
Okay,
I want to see. I want to see all the censorship there. I
Okay,
want to see the
I do
censorship
ha-
there.
I have the numbers up right now. Currently, as of what's today, July 20th of 2026, the worldwide box office for it right now is at $2,064,000. The budget of the movie is estimated to be roughly around 250 million. But in order for it to actually make a profit, it has to grow somewhere in between 625 million to 750 million.
Exactly.
Now,
because
what-
you have
now-
the cinema split.
Yeah. Now, yeah, that is a good representation of it right there, because for anybody that watched the latest FNT, they spent like the 2.5 hours just going over the Odyssey. And from what we can understand is that the general audience seems to actually enjoy the movie. It's due to the fact that they aren't as integrated into the quote unquote culture war as people like us are and everything. So they don't have like the actual forethought of thinking like, wait, you're all doing this with the movie, but you all keep saying stuff about this about representing people, but you won't represent actual Greeks in your Greek.
Exactly.
ethnic-
Normies aren't following this online the way we have, so they just see the Odyssey. Oh, the Odyssey is out. I want to see that.
Oh,
And they-
No,
they're
they'll also just say
Nolan.
Nolan. It's Nolan. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Nolan. They want to see Nolan.
Guys,
I actually
guys.
have people who are not like what you would say wokies and stuff like that on my Facebook friend list, like, and they're actually thinking people. You know, I've known them for years and years, and one of them actually made a post that he absolutely enjoyed the Odyssey. So, all right, you can enjoy whatever you want to enjoy.
Therefore, but Helzo, what you have pointed out and what Kai has laid onto the table, as well as Galaxy and Jace, you have laid down the situation very accurately. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is living proof that in the year of our Lord 2026, we have lost the culture war. Because still, after over 10 years of this shit, people are still lapping it up.
I would actually
I wouldn't
disagree
even
with
say-
you.
Yeah,
No,
I would disagree on.
with that.
Yeah.
Primarily due to look at another thing that we may talk about later. Take a look at Avengers Doomsday, the trailer that just came out today. When was the actual last profitable movie from the MCU that isn't Spider-Man?
That's a good question. Maybe Deadpool Wolverine.
Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
Deadpool, Wolverine.
And think of how many products of the MCU has come out since
then.
Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And how
I
many
mean,
were
I actually did-
complete
I actually
flops?
did
How
the-
many were canceled?
Yeah,
Star
exactly.
Wars is dead. Listen, Star Wars is dead. Marvel is basically on life support. DC is basically dead with Supergirl. Digny, you can't call it a victory because the only people who saw this are the same people who keep voting for the Uniparty. Fucking boomers who had no idea what the fuck is going on.
Also, the
I mean-
only reason that the Odyssey had a good start is because it's Nolan, and Nolan still carries a lot of weight.
Directorial
with
weight.
his name.
Yeah.
Like
Especially-
he's one of
especially
the
after
few remain. The
Oppenheimer
Drodic
came out.
actually pointed it out very well in his video that he's probably the only still remaining person, like director, who is actually a director, who is actually has the power. He has a good track record that does still have trust. After the Odyssey, that's gonna fall down. By the way,
Well,
I
there's-
think that this is probably gonna be his last or semi to last movie.
Hit.
But everything,
Yeah,
like,
hit movie. Probably. His
the
last
fact
hit.
that
What
this
to
didn't
dig-
break records now, didn't make his own money back in the opening weekend. And I can tell you one thing, because the 40 campers actually posted a poll. What do you see in the movie theaters? And I actually checked all of our movie theaters and their graphs for taking seats. Do you know how many free seats there were in all of the cinemas in our city, in the capital of my country, where people actually don't engage in the culture war, they just want to have a good time and go and watch a movie? They were like 50 to 60% were free. And that's not just in my country, by the way. So a lot of people did watch it, but the fact that this movie didn't make, after all the hype, after the immense hype, after the cast of all the popular Hollywood people that is there, didn't make its money in the opening weekend is very telling.
This film was not designed to make $1. Woman King was not designed to make $1. We are looking at this, obviously, because we are sane and rational people, from a financial perspective. I think one of the biggest flaws, and it's not just with us, it's not just with content creators, it's actually with the Western world as a whole, for generations, in fact. We view our opposition's mindset through finance, when almost all the opposition we have faced in the West doesn't give a shit about making a dime.
And see, I was about to say that, Digny. Now, there are two things to Digny's credit about the culture wars. One, this is absolutely meant to demoralize people in the culture war and say, hey, look, this Nolan movie, the Chuds lost. You know what else is the Chuds lost? Grand Theft Auto 6 with the gorillion fucking dollars that they've already made on pre-sales for an empty box. All right. And by the way, couple that with the 2026 American election, which will go to shit, and the fact that that the UK now has Burnham, who is just basically Stormer with a different haircut. This is all meant to
I made him in
demoralize
the
you.
lab, Jace. I made him in the lab.
We told you to stop doing that after Yorch. We told you to stop after you mixed match JT
Look,
with
I
Ricky
was
Ricardo.
the success,
That was
all
a
right?
mistake.
I was the success. Leave it after one.
Look, it's
The
just
thing is that what you're saying, Jason, Digny, you're right. They don't view it from the perspective of finance, because they are still
They're the
people
Joker in Dark
with the-
Knight. They're burning the money.
No, they're still the
Exactly.
ones with almost unlimited money. They're still with the fuck you money. We're the ones without money. We're the ones who need to make our penny count. That's why, like, things
I
like
don't even think it factors in. I don't think it's the question of unlimited budgets, because historically we have the United States itself has faced opposition who only think about money and have unlimited resources. It was called the British fucking Empire, and it's still butt fuck the British into submission.
I thought you meant these
That's
guys.
right, Mr. Benoit. You cannot stop the Jews. We are too
no.
powerful. Join us.
I'm sorry, Jace, you could eliminate 68% of them in 6 years and you still won't stop them. The point is, though,
oh yeah,
right?
they're just gonna repopulate. The penguins in them are gonna repopulate.
But the point I'm trying to make is that the financial element doesn't even factor into the equation. Look, their concept, the opposition, and this is a great way to live life, folks. Know your enemy, know yourself, find victory in every battle. Classic art of war, right? Understand your enemy's motivation. The enemy's motivation is singular. Destruction. Not even anything more complex than that. How much of Western civilization can we destroy until we get destroyed by Western civilization? That's the only framework. It's not even conscious among the rank and file, but in the wider collective, that is the aim, right? Star Wars is dead. That's a victory for them. The MCU is still not dead. That's a loss. DC's been dead for 30 years. That's a great victory, right? Wokeness didn't even have to kill fucking DC, folks. DC killed DC, right? Before I was born. That company was in trouble even then, right? The objective is to destroy everything you love, everything you admire, till there's nothing left. Because once everything's gone, then their job is done. They'll fade away and turn to dust. And then a new power will build their own institutions up to replace
But
us.
I'll tell you one thing.
By the way,
they
that
want
is
to
exactly
see-
what happened to the Chinese culture. So much of it was destroyed before the communist subversion of
Exactly.
their country.
I'll tell you one thing, however, and this is where their plan is going to fail because of what we have shown them. They're not going to succeed at. They're going to succeed in destroying everything big. They're going to succeed in destroying everything we love from the companies that we grew up with and love. They're going to destroy the companies, the game industries, and the movie franchises that we love. However, and we have proven this, independent, smaller titles will rise up, especially in gaming. They're gonna have minimum budgets. They're gonna be creative out of necessity. That's, by the way, some of the best TV series and movies and franchises have started out with minimum to no budgets, and they have become what they are because they were creative by necessity. When you have the minimum budget, you make do. And that's what we are. I would just put on just a second. I would just they have fuck you money. All right, they do have fuck you money. That's why they can afford to make the Odyssey. As Digny said, it's not made to make money, but they can still shell out that much money. They can still shell out $2 billion fucking dollars for GTA 6, and they will be making money, but they could make more money if they. That's why Sony, by the way, that's why Sony can do it. Okay, it brings me so much joy to know.
This is their mindset that Digny was talking about. See, and this person got dragged for this. I believe they even years later, I think they deleted this tweet because they got dragged for it by the entirety of the culture war. But you know, I mean, to be fair, Halls, I mean, when you say we can create new things, I think of Expedition 33, which we all on this panel love.
That was what I was getting at.
But the flip side is they already signed the Netflix deal, so Lupita Nyong'o is probably going to be my out.
See, look, that's the thing, right? You cannot stop the sun when it sets. That is what we are going through. Every great nation, every great power rises and falls. The Western world is no different. The United States is no different. The United States is acting in the 2020s the way the British Empire was acting in the 1930s, fucking lashing out at anyone that would seek to undermine our dominion. And it bled us to death in a great war.
This thing is Elliot Page's burner account. Prove me wrong.
Yes. I'll tell you one thing. As in nature and as in society, everything is basically an Ouroboros snake. It eats its own tail. It's cyclical. It's twisted. Even if all pop culture dies very soon, new pop culture will be eventually be born. Even if our civilization or our society falls to war, to anything, the survivors will create new civilization. Even if every single human being falls, evolution is gonna take its course and it's gonna bring out new species and they will rise up. Everything is cyclical. We're just part of that. And at the lowest level and at the biggest level, we're going to continue circling around. And as we are seeing the death of pop culture as we know it. We're seeing the death of major studios. How many game studios, how many developers, how many companies have already had layoffs, closures? How many studios have closed down? How many actors and developers were fired? And this is just getting more and more and more. And at the same time, smaller companies are replacing, just like when a tree falls and rots, and from it, the nature feeds itself, and more tree, like multiple trees and bushes rise up. That's what happened with Expedition 33. Ex-Ubisoft developers created something magical. Maybe one day Sandfall games will become too big, they'll fall off, and from then something else will happen. The thing is that if the only sad thing is that what we grew up and we love is going away. However, new things and maybe better things that learn from the mistakes of this will happen. However, for that to happen, we shouldn't give up, because as Digny said, they are destroying everything. And yes, but they are destroying it with the intent of them being the ones to create the new things, to control us, to tell us what to like, what to love, what to think, what to say. We, on the other hand, are stopping them, and as much power and fuck you money that they have, we're there to tell them we're not gonna buy, we're not gonna be utilizing what you have spent, and eventually, even if you do continue to pour in endless amount of money. You'll continue to have your studios closed. You'll continue to lose control and popular control, and we'll continue to show the people that we can do it without you. That's basically how this culture war is being fought. We're not going to destroy the biggest companies. We're not going to bring down Disney. We're not going to bring down Sony, but we're going to show them that they can pour in as much money as they fucking want, but we're not going to buy anymore. And that's going to be more and more. And they're going to decide what they're going to do.
The more I think about it, the more over the past few, because I've been thinking about this for as long as I've been a content creator, so 4 or 5 years now. The more I think about it, the less I believe we're in a culture war, and the more I believe we're in a culture pandemic, right? Because what we are facing is not a traditional enemy. It's a disease. It's a contagion, and it is spreading. And instead of you don't usually fight an enemy with plague unless you're in a zombie apocalypse, of course. But under most circumstances, you don't fight the plague physically. This is a mental plague, and it's infecting and rotting our cultural institutions in a way that is far more insidious than even what the Chinese underwent in their cultural revolution, because the Chinese cultural revolution was very active. It was not nearly as ideological as this cultural revolution.
Well, also you bring up the Chinese, and we've gone into, as you stated before, a full bizarro world where it's the Chinese, it's the communists who are now like, whoa, calm it down to us, because we're like deleting physical media, and they're like, wait a minute, like, and it's almost like it's flipped on its ass in a weird way, where the Western, Agenda 2030, unelected bureaucratic World Economic Forum, is this fusion of this corpo-fascism we have. It is now taking it to a level that even the communists are looking at it. It's like, the fuck are you doing?
Yes, because we also need to understand that the people in charge of Red China are the moderate faction of communists. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, moderates, really? Well, the alternative was Maoism after Mao, the George Washington of China. And instead of tens of millions of Chinese dying of famine, hundreds of millions of Chinese would have died in famine. Right? So they are reformers. The only thing they really got wrong was the one-child policy, and that has really fucked them up. Right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But compare China today than it was in the 1950s. In the 1950s, America never had it so good, and China was starving. Maybe in 50, 60, 70 years' time, Chinese will never have it so good, and Americans will be starving. We don't know.
That's already starting to happen. I mean, look at these. Look at these cities. Like I said, there's only one state in the United States where you can really afford a family under $70K a year. That's bad. That is essentially bad. Which, by the way, again, that's if you are an honest living American. If you're a piece of shit, the government will subsidize you. Just ask every cashew-headed Somali in Minnesota that's just still continuing to turn the system upside down. Just ask all the California, illegals that have crossed over here illegally that get free health care and everything. But if you're an honest American, fuck you. But if you're on the side of the left, we will hand you everything and then some. Which of course also appeals to the young people when they have no hope. They say, oh, well, if I embrace communism, I'll have everything handed to me. All I got to do is embrace it and cut my dick off and hail Zoran Mamdani.
Well, the thing about China is that, their internal social politics are much better than a lot of the Western countries. But you give up a lot of stuff as well.
Yes.
They just don't feel it. And it's exactly like, what do we choose? Do we choose to live affordably, or do we choose the freedom? And this is not how it's supposed to be.
Well, personally, Elzo, I would choose to support not just a nation, but a mindset that goes from third world to first world within the lifespan of my father. How about that?
No,
because there's a lot of potential.
Look, I'm not going to choose to support a government that can take me away when I misspeak.
Well, then you shouldn't live in Bulgaria. You shouldn't live in the United States.
No, we don't have a functioning government, so I'm okay. I can shout the N-word at the center of Sofia, and nobody's gonna give a shit.
That's because no blacks live in your country because they can't extract resources from your country. Right?
Yep. And do you know the reason why? I have a story time for you, by the way, guys. I just want to mention that in. So I've talked about like when Syria was attacked, 2012, 2013, and when the
Yep.
great immigration stream happened, and now countries like the UK are so benefiting from all the engineers that went there because the EU decided to get a lot of what was it, like benefit packages to all those immigrants to help them. Like there was like hundreds upon hundreds of euros per person. And if you have children, then you will get up to 2K per month for being an illegal immigrant in a country that you don't know anything about. So the thing is that these amazing people running away from being destroyed didn't stick around in my country, even though we are basically the outer border between Europe and Asia. They didn't stick around because we didn't have the money to pay them as much as Western Europe would pay them. Like they were paying them 50 euros per month. And recently, I discovered that actually the European Union gave the money to my country to be able to pay them properly. But for some reason, 90% of the money didn't make it to being processed by the government. So what I'm trying to say, I'm not going to say what happened to those money. I'm not going to say what happened to those money. A lot of people got very nice villas in certain regions of Bulgaria. It is the only time in history that the absolute abhorrent corruption that is rampaging my country for more than 30 years has actually benefited it, because we are free of every engineer that is currently helping integrate Europe into the greater Islamic Republic.
Yeah. And it's a big, that's why I lament the fact that Bulgaria has joined the Euro, because there's no going back for your great nation.
We're fucked.
Yeah.
But we're not fucked. Just tell you one thing, Digny. We're not fucked because of the euro. We're fucked because of the people that managed to increase the prices and blaming the euro for it. The euro has nothing to do with that. Like they're just maliciously upbringing the prices. And currently we have double the price and double less the amount of money that we receive.
Look, there's a reason the British didn't want the euro. I'll just leave it at that. Like indie devs are they're not getting unfairly attacked. I question the validity of this whole argument, right? They've tied their flags to the Sony ship, and they're bitching and moaning now that the ship might sink.
It's funny that you say that, because this article itself is basically contradicting itself, and I'm just gonna scroll down. Hardcore physical game fans continue to barrage PlayStation's social media. I am one of them, by the way. Posts following its decisions to cease production of discs in 2028, and now indie developers are getting unfairly caught in the crossfire. Just for a little clarification, indie devs are getting into agreement with Sony to promote their games for the PlayStation because it's all digital, and because indie devs generally don't have the money to release a physical disc right off the bat because they're smaller games. They're promoting themselves through contractual agreements with the console developers and through Steam and through all the platforms that they're going to be releasing their games on. So that's just basically a standard thing that Sony needs to do just to promote them because it's in the contract. As well as promoting upcoming games with its own posts, PlayStation will often retweet independent teams' posts like Hila and Dusk Fade. These are posts made by the actual indie devs who are looking to get the word out about their PS5 game. Usually,
no, it's not. It's usually Sony doing it, and then that's why Sony is getting attacked.
Exactly. Usually, they'd receive responses from people excited about their games and questions, which, true, when you have millions of followers, you'll get a lot of people who are like, "Oh, Sony's promoting something. Yay, let's check it out." Now, since PlayStation has retweeted the posts, indie developers are being inundated with complaints regarding Sony's decision to stop making discs, a choice those studios had nothing to do with and often disagree with. All right, so the article so far says that people are going directly and mass attacking indie developers for daring to go with Sony. And then the article itself, because bless you per square, bless you for being so inadequate at doing your job to try and shoot for PlayStation. So this is basically a common thread that was screenshotted, and we have the first comment. We want the option to buy discs. God damn it! Some guy saying nah said I hate this game and PlayStation 5. So one legit comment about hating the game. Tiago MS Almeida. No disc, no sale, no PlayStation. Next comment. Cool looking game. So they like the game. They like the game. They like the indie developers. Sorry for what happened to you. Sony put you in the crosshairs. Don't let it get to you. So
And it's kind of funny.
Alone,
That really
comment alone,
yeah. That comment pretty much just destroys everything this article is saying.
we need physical games or no deal. No disc, no buy. I won't buy this if it can be taken away at a whim by Sony. So have you considered either a GOG or physical release? None of these
Yep.
are hating on the indie developers. They're hating on Sony. And they're actually not even hating on Sony. They're taking Sony into accountability. But this will have you believe something else. Okay? This, and which by the way, is very, very, very good, because this is the post from Push Square with 295,000 followers. Indie devs unfairly attacked. So they publish this. They have 338,000 views. They have 179 likes, and then little old me with 6.6 thousand views. I have 993 likes, because I said that nobody is attacking indie devs. Nope, nobody. We're keeping accountability towards Sony, because Sony is promoting them, and we're showing that we're not going to use Sony, and maybe indie devs should just move away from Sony. We're not hating on the indie devs. We are actually the people who support indie games the most. We're just not going to buy them through Sony. So I am sorry, but yes, you are getting caught in the crossfires, but we're not attacking you, my dear indie dev.
You know what you need to understand is that the games journalists, and this is something that I think is very interesting, because, you know, at the beginning of the show, you heard Kai and Galaxy and I sort of talk about how, like, you know, when we were growing up, like the culture war just was virtually non-existent, because people learned how to sort of deal with each other. But anytime that there's like a common enemy that left, right, doesn't really factor into it, like Sony, the games journalists will get involved, because you know, they require, you know, for everything that they project, and you know what I mean, they will go on and they will talk about people like us, they'll talk about people like Smash, Hypno, Grums, et cetera, and how we're the ones who are quote unquote grifters, who require the culture war. Well, then here's another great example that I want to show you, Halzo. Look at this headline. Look at this headline by The Gamer. Unbothered by misogynistic reactions online. Now, she did not call us misogynists.
No.
The Gamer did.
Nope.
All she said, she actually had one of the most fair takes that she could have had, which is, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I accept that. I think what we did is awesome, but it's not for everyone. I give her all the credit in the world, because that is how they should talk when dealing with this. But
when you're
the
not
thing is, she's also a professional actor on screen, so that she, and most of the time, at least especially for the ones that are like really like her, you know, like her and Charlie Cox and all of them, they actually are very, very good at when they speak to journalists. So it's I mean, we're not talking about like Rachel Zegler level or anything like that.
But the thing is that they're trying to spin doctor this so that people on our side call her a bitch, call her a cunt. They want to create the misogyny that they're claiming exists by putting a headline out that's very deceptive, so that she gets labeled the bad guy. Oh, she called him a misogynist? Well, fuck you, bitch. I hate it. I never liked you. And even in True Blood. And you know, that kind of stuff. But the thing is, her take was actually the most fair take, that if more of these celebrities, more of these people in the space took, no problem. Look, I did a project. I like it. It's okay if you don't. And that should be normal. Exactly. But they require the culture war, so they want us to be all mad and then, you know, sort of hope that we react to this headline. No?
Well, that's the danger.
Because that's part of the crossfires, by the way. Because good stuff will also get caught and not be successful. to it.
Yes.
And we are becoming overly critical, by the way. Some of us, we are becoming overly cynical, and we are kind of missing out on the good stuff. But we're also, when 99% of the stuff that everybody's praising turns out to be shit, and we are right all the time, it's hard to not be cynical and critical all the time.
Yeah. But we
That's-
do have to
that's-
watch for
that's
these
reality.
pitfalls.
Well,
You know,
we also have to understand that, like all conflicts, folks,
Mm-hmm.
right? Although I think this is more like fighting a disease, which is also profitable. COVID taught us that. Is that it's very lucrative to fan the flames of conflict and to fan the flames of a disease spreading, because you can capitalize on the chaos to not only make a name for yourself but make a lot of money. The fortune, the fame and fortune hunters, right? And you know, I'm sorry to have to be the one to say this, but you know, everyone of consequence has that in the back of their mind, right? I'm doing this for the cause, but I'm also doing it for my own fame and fortune, right? And I say everyone of consequence because it's human nature, right? Especially if
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be like snake oil salesman too, basically, kind of.
yeah,
That's how they are.
I think the malevolent aspect of it comes later, right? I don't think it never starts off with I'm going to do this to make a name for myself. I'm going to do this to make loads of money. Never starts off that way, because the vast majority of creators who do this fail. It's a fact, right? A small majority succeed, and they don't succeed forever. Look at the quartering, right? He didn't succeed forever. Look at Boogie 2988. He didn't succeed forever, right?
Yeah, they went
But
crazy.
then- yeah, they go crazy. And yes, this industry can drive people mad, just like politics in Washington, just like pop culture in Hollywood. The point is, though, folks, this conflict or this pandemic, this culture war, this culture pandemic will never end as long as the great factions within it benefit from it continuing, whether it's fame, fortune, notoriety, infamy, if you want to go down that road. Too many people benefit from promulgating this conflict. Too many people benefit from spreading the woke mind virus. Too many people benefit from spreading the anti-woke mind
And
virus.
I'm sending this to you right now because you don't have one and you need that. There you go, Dr. Digney. If Mario can be a doctor, so can the dignified cartoon gentleman.
I am Dr. Digney. And what is
I'll say-
Digney short for? A dignified death. I'm from Dignitas. I'm Dr. Dignitas.
I'm going to
Jason
give a
Butler,
remedy to
come on
everyone.
down.
I'm going to provide one remedy as a nurse, because laughter is a good remedy. And this is what just popped up with me. And I'm laughing.
Oh Lord.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least the Power Ranger one actually looks good.
Yep.
Even though the Digital's iteration is bad, but it's just, but it still
Oh,
looks
boy.
better than the MCU one right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oops.
Everything is
God.
fine, folks. Everything is fine. I think that what we're doing, especially in this cultural, and I will take Digny's recommendation. This is not a cultural war. It is a cultural virus, or a cultural disease, however you want to call it. I think that what we're doing and the fact that we're having fun is amazing, because it's important, and also it's important to show people and to have people to talk to, because I think that the people who are watching us do also know what we know and do realize what we realize, but it's also great to hear it from other people, and that's what we do. We basically say it out loud.
At least he's not the other kind of doctor. The one on Rumble.
Dr. Digny Man.
Hey, look, a teenage girl in a bath. In a bathroom.
Yeah, I'm sending that one to you too.
Or in the toilets.
It's amazing.
Ah.
It is amazing. But
I'm no
I
longer quartering Digney. I am Dr. Digney, of Dignitas. Okay? I'm going to
I
change
still
my name
trust
real
that.
quick,
I trust that doctor more than Fauci.
right?
Yeah. Dr.
Inject
Digny's gonna
bleach.
make it all better.
inject bleach into your veins.
He's gonna chuck a very large needle.
Whew, needle chuckers. Well, they do like to shoot crack that way in the ghetto.
Yep. So Dr.
Okay,
Diggs is gonna
folks.
make it all better.
Digny, you just reminded me of the video that I saw going around where a woman was like washing her lettuce with bleach to make it clean.
Oh no.
Yep. Her name is Michelle Obama. Okay. But it is
You mean
a
Big Mike?
shame we are where we are, right? I'm of the opinion over the past 4 or 5 years is that we've gone very far in trying our best to deal with these issues. But of all the creators, all of the communities, and all the efforts to really, and I really hit this home, be the change you want to see, I've only seen one major effort at that succeed. The Rippaverse. And even that gets debated on whether it's a success or not. So one great arguable success in moving the pop culture needle in 5 years. There are lots of minor successes, especially with a few creators banding together or one creator pushing their comic project. In terms of the comic space, the needle is pushing far further than any other space, right? And thanks to AI, thanks to, video editing, you've got things like the Will Stansel show, and that also moved the needle. It's such a shame that a woman did that because that makes us men look bad. But the point still stands. In the grand scheme of things, give us 5 years, this is what we've achieved collectively. Hopefully we can keep moving the needle, but by the time we've moved the needle of bringing about effective change, the digital revolution has come, there's mass unemployment, no one trusts one another because you could be a clanker, and we live in a Osa factory, right? You're an Iranian bot. You're an Indian bot. You're an Israeli bot. Right? And more people enter the fray while this is happening. By the end of the century, 15% of the world will be Indian. 3 out of every 20 people on planet Earth will be Indian.
Well, fortunately, they die like cartoon characters, so maybe not.
Yes, they do. But you know what happens when India becomes the next world's great power? Trains will be banned, elephants will be murdered to extinction, and every single bit of fresh water will have shit on it. Then India will dominate creation.
How's that worse than AI centers poisoning our water?
Very simple. AI isn't brown.
For now,
No, it ain't happening.
when it rusts, it's gonna be.
I
I'm
like how
sorry to
we've
say-
we've
go
bullied Modi into begging his people to start practicing cleanliness.
To which my response will be, a pig will fly to the moon before India gets clean.
Oh boy.
In fact, I think the next great power after India is Indonesia. And their motto, this is a Muslim majority country, by the way, folks. The biggest Muslim population in a country is in Indonesia. Do you know what their motto is? Their national motto is unity and diversity. And it's been that way since Indonesia stopped being the Dutch East Indies after World War II. You could say, it's woke, it's woke. Well, how can you on one hand be a country that will cut your fucking head off if you so much as sneeze in their presence, and on the other hand being like, unity in diversity? I'll tell you why. Because there are enough non-Muslims in Indonesia to rip the country apart, so they have no choice but to be like, we're all in this together. Like High School Musical.
I think that we're all gonna be visited by aliens. So that's what I choose to believe.
Stop calling Jews that.
No.
talked
Actual,
about this.
look, I'm talking about good aliens. I'm not talking about those people who
Good
constantly
aliens?
need
Good
saving.
aliens don't exist. We've
Yes.
talked about that. The
No,
bad aliens
no.
killed them
Look.
all.
No. Oh, sorry. I want Mass Effect aliens, and I'm gonna be
Oh.
very
Well,
very
Well, so you want the Geth? No, you don't want the Geth. That's worse.
Look, we already have Geth at home. Didn't you see the first topic? We already have Geth at home.
Asari do to humans what black men do to white women. Okay? Right? And I'll tell you why. Any Mass Effect fans here know that if you, as a human or any other species, fuck an Asari, it only produces an Asari.
Yeah.
Does that remind you of any other groups on Earth, right? Black people, the yellows.
Doesn't matter. Had a sorry.
Yeah, just because it looks pretty and is blue. I heard a theory once that the only reason an Asari looks pretty is because they use this fucking amorphic projection. They do the same to Solarians.
You actually have that in the second game.
Yeah.
It's a spoiler in a specific section in a club on Ilium. Yeah. So yeah, it is like that, but it's great.
They're fucking
It's still
chameleons.
Fuck it, it's still better than what we have here. Like,
So if
you'd
George
rather tell me that you're
Floyd fucked up your If George Floyd fucked up your senses and looked like a pretty woman, you'd be pro George Floyd. It's the same argument.
No,
not really.
It is because the Asari amorphiate themselves to look human, to look Solarian, to look Turian, to look fucking, I don't know, Volus, if you want to use that fucking term, a gas creature, okay? To attract a mate to spread their Asari genes. If that was the case with any other group of people on Earth or any other animal on Earth, we would have fucking exterminated such a uncanny valley creature. But no, we want to fuck this one right in the pussy because it's blue or green or whatever the fuck those colored creatures are.
Exactly.
Right?
What if the aliens look like this?
Look, it's still better. I mean we already have that en masse, so I think we're ready to move on to another color. That's why the blue.
I just want to make it clear, right? We only seem to have a problem with invasive species if they look disgusting, smell disgusting, and act disgusting. We don't seem to have a problem with an invasive species if it looks cute, sounds cute, acts cute, and smells cute. Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a personal example, Helzo. You work with cats a lot, right? Cats make a sound that is way different when they're not among humans than they do among humans, right? It's a fucking manipulation tactic.
They imitate baby sounds. Yeah, it is. It is.
Now, I am not in my right mind.
Humans
guys,
are the same, by the way. Humans are the same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but the point still stands. I am not going to have some manipulative little cunt coded by nature to guilt trip me into ensuring its survival. Because that is how
we
evolution...
call that a baby.
Right? No,
I would call that the UK government.
It's a kitter with a hard R, right? I'm not going to be guilt tripped by some little furball into providing it food and sustenance. Because if I allow that to happen over millennia of generations, the cat will evolve to become a manipulative cunt. So that ain't happening for me. You do your own thing, Helzo, but I ain't supporting the great kit.
I'm happy with my manipulative cats.
At
least it's not manipulative bipedals who can't breed.
I mean, I get why Digny's concerned. I mean, there are such thing as cats that are Israeli in origin, as we well know.
Meowth.
With the coin on his head.
I always thought that was a file, you know.
You look at Pal World with that Egyptian cat Sekhmet.
Oh no.
And they're making titty porn out of the creature, and it's like,
you
people are disgusting.
Oh boy!
Look,
that's
Rule 34 is the one rule that exists without fail. That's the one rule that has never been broken in the history of its existence.
Well,
I know.
Be sure to stick around for the new Rule 34, which is Rule 6-7.
No.
Yes. You see, Galaxy, in 50 years, when you're in the ground, that is what will conquer the world. And this is Sekhmet. I don't know why. Kai, were you booted out, or
I just picked.
Helzo
Yeah.
just collapsed of heat stroke? But
Yeah,
this,
kind of.
this is what your cats will evolve into.
Yep.
Right? And men and women will lust for getting penetrated by pussy.
Oh no.
We're already halfway there because a lot of people are into puppy girls and cat girls and stuff like that. So,
This is why
and
freedom...
when you have schools in America that actually do provide litter boxes to schools because some children identify as cats or dogs, that it's fucked up. But yeah,
This is why freedom doesn't work for everyone. It may work for Galaxy and Kai and Jace and Helzo and me. It doesn't work for everyone, right? This is why the idea of spreading Western liberal democracy, especially the Middle East, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, let's give chalk to cheese and see if it works. Of course, it wasn't going to
it's gonna be
work.
great one day. Like if you pour enough of it, you're gonna have trans goats.
You guys are going to have freedom. I don't care how many of your children's hospitals I'm going to blow up. You're going to have freedom, damn it. You're going to have McDonald's. You're going to have Medicare. And
Imagine going to the Ramadan.
To be fair, Digny, there is a flip side to your argument.
Is it Sneeko? Oh. Well,
okay,
I would just like to point out that these bitches also exist in Red China. But instead of blood, I'm supposed to say clown makeup, not blood makeup. But instead of hey, Dr. Digny, folks, I'll tell you that. But instead of clown
blood
makeup,
if it was Diego Maradona's blood.
Look, it's not clown makeup. It's not even makeup. It's the blood of Uyghurs and her yellow skin. Okay? That is literally the flag of China, right? The yellow skin of the stars of the people and the blood red of all of their opponents. Okay? Right? Freedom is dangerous, and not everyone on this planet can handle life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the sooner you guys understand that and get your own house in order, the same with my house, get our own houses in order, then we can fix the rest of the world. But I don't think we should. We should let the Middle East be the Middle East. We should let East Asia be East Asia, right? Let the Japanese be the Japanese. Leave Taiwan to its own fate, which is another way of saying die. Just leave these countries alone, right? Let North Korea and South Korea have it out. It's not our problem, right? I hate K-pop, so, I have a vested interest. But you get what I'm saying? Why should we mess around in all these places that we're never going to end up being? I mean, Kai, you're going to retire to Taiwan? Galaxy, you're going to retire to South Korea?
Nope.
I mean, in all honesty, you ask the average Joe Soap American, do they give a damn about America's, desires in Europe or the Middle East or in East Asia? They didn't tell you. No, go fuck yourself. My only desire is to satisfy myself, my family, maybe my friends, and live a good life. To hell with
By
the
the way,
Japanese.
you're speaking of retirement as any of us is going to see one.
Well, you
with
can
with
see
them
a
with them raising the retirement age globally.
You can see a retirement if you start putting America first, right? Which means putting your so-called friends last. Let Japan survive on its own. Well, it can't. So fucking what? It's not my problem. Let South Korea survive on its own. Let Taiwan survive on its own. Let the European Union survive on its own. Let Israel survive on its own. No, we can't do that. No, we can't. They're our friends. No, the reason you can't do that is because they're American colonies, or in Israel's case, America is an Israeli colony. I can tell you for a fact that if Americans just kept to their own affairs in their own lands, South Korea and Taiwan would be gone. Russia would swallow half of fucking Europe, just like they did, if you have short memories. And the Middle East would be at peace because Israel doesn't exist anymore. But that's my view, guys.
Yeah,
and that's a great way.
you're just being way too utopian, because that would mean everybody just watch their own fucking business. That's never gonna happen, because
Well, it's never going to happen
because
because
you
China's
need
going to.
resources.
Yeah, because China's going to swallow up Taiwan. North
No,
Korea will
no.
swallow up
I'm
South
talking about
Korea.
that if everybody watch their own business, then you won't have trade routes, you won't have
That's not
anything.
gonna work. That's not
Let's
gonna work
see
because-
people eating the foods that they're eating without that.
Because there's a reason why all the fucking neocons are like, oh, you isolationists are bad, while they suck off little boys and die like Lindsey Graham. It's because they know that if America was isolationist, Taiwan wouldn't exist, South Korea wouldn't exist. I don't even think Japan would exist, really, because you look at how many American personnel are in Japan. Might as well be an American colony still, right?
I'm just
And
gonna
we-
say that if that happens, Sony wouldn't exist.
Oh,
So
At
let's-
I
least like
think we
that,
would
and,
all
it's got,
support
and
that.
physical discs wouldn't have
Right.
been made abundant. But yeah,
so we
this
do
is
have
utopia.
thi-
Talk is
There's one-
nice, but that's not gonna happen, sadly.
yeah. There's one
we
more
have
thing
this, but there's
from
not enough
Jay.
time to talk about it.
Mhm.
But this is something to keep an eye on for the
Sure.
coming weeks.
Yeah.
This is the director of District 9, Neil Blomkamp, faces backlash over AI generated zombie short film. It is a full test film made completely of AI by the director of District 9.
Oh, so we're having another movie generated entirely by Seedance. We actually covered one, if you remember,
Yeah.
a couple of shows back with
Yeah, with Laura Luma.
superhero film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So
now-
this,
and now-
this-
and now
this
here's
is what's gonna
another.
happen. By the
Yeah.
way, I saw a similar title. I can't find it right now, but it's a children's show that is being
Well, the-
aired
the
on
reason-
YouTube Kids, I think, which is entirely AI generated. You know, already has like
Well, the-
300,000 views.
The reason Blomkamp has decided to do this is because South Africa no longer has a movie industry because South Africa is fucked.
Yeah. And,
And
the
that's
whole
the
movie,
future.
the whole movie that he put up is on YouTube. It's called Nightborn.
And that's the future, by the way. That is the future.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be. Seedance is gonna get better. You're gonna get more high quality, fast made by yourself, by the way, entertainment, and we're gonna have more and more Ready Player One style of world. And when we all
This was
live
uploaded
in
15
dystopian,
hours ago to YouTube.
Yeah.
So it is there.
how many views does it have already?
It has one. Let's see. It has 28K views, 1.3K likes, 1.2K dislikes.
Yep, that's one of the wars that is happening. Anti AI and pro AI is happening.
I get it. I understand the reasons for it because, look, my grandfather's generation wasn't even ready for planes, tanks, and fucking radio.
My
Our
dad's
generation
always
is
be-
not ready for this.
I will always be of two minds about it. One is I don't want to have the robot clankers that we saw at the beginning of the show. But two, making images, making artwork with it, I have no fucking problem with that. And in fact, I noticed the people that are maddest about it tend to be leftists who are mad that nobody wants to buy their shitty art on Fiverr anymore.
Yeah, like AI is great to help you in the things that you cannot do yourself. For instance, I used to spend hours upon hours on thumbnails. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have the opportunity to record live music for my gaming sessions, so I use Suno. I am a musician and I am sort of an artist, but I do use those to help me out to become like more productive. But that doesn't mean that I wanted to replace everything.
Exactly.
AI is a tool. We have talked about this before.
Yeah.
AI is
Yeah,
a
and of
tool.
course.
It's not bad. It's not good. It is a tool. It's like the internet. It's like gaming. It's like automatic driving. It's who uses it. It's who uses it.
And
speaking
slavery
of,
out the beach
speaking of
cards
the
against
AI
that.
films and
Oh.
also
I
Odyssey.
saw this, yes.
Yeah, yeah. They're this
Oh,
guy's
boy.
like doing one man collaboration with AI.
Yep.
Ash
I don't think
Kusha.
I get mad about that.
And that-
But you know what? It's starting to become another culture war issue because the people who yell the most about AI tend to be these weirdos on the left. They all have Troon avatars. They all have the Palestine or the
trailer up.
watermelon. They're always mad. Everything is bigoted. Everything is phobic. We saw it with Expedition 33. They were mad at a few assets that were negligible at best. They did the same thing with Crimson Desert. All of a sudden, the whole game has to be disqualified because of like a fucking cloud. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
All right, like that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And again, the thing is, like, even for like things like thumbnails, I mostly do most of my thumbnail work still manually. But yeah, sometimes I'll have the AI sort of touch up like an area where something seems off, or I didn't quite, fill in an area quite perfectly. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Anyone who's worried about, the leftists who are worried about that, they're worried about that because they're mad that they're more likely to be replaced because they're fucking useless anyway.
It's gotten so bad, folks, that so many people no longer give a fuck. You've got royal bands introducing new prime ministers in the UK, playing the Cyberman theme from Doctor Who. Literally. As a new prime minister is being installed, they're using the bad guy sounds from the Cyberman. And it's a good beat, right? But it just goes to show that everyone is in such a state of, I just don't give a fuck anymore. What the fuck are we doing? Okay? And that's what happens when there's no direction, when there's no leadership. There's so many problems. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? So we'll just do what the fuck we want and let chaos reign.
Exactly. I'm gonna say it. I think that we should just be chill about it. We don't have control over things. Everything is going to shit. I personally have a stack full of popcorn that I'm gonna pop when everything actually pops up and goes completely to shit. I don't really care because
that reminds me, I need to buy a cake and have a Lindsey Graham is dead party.
We have tried as a species, like we have had proper activists in the past, like by proper activists, people who actually did some good, try to steer the world into a better direction. We have had people who propagated and were shouting out for better things between humans. They were all shot in the head violently and were jailed and other stuff. So if humanity as a whole doesn't want to do it, who are we to stop it? I mean, I'm not gonna shout in the streets, be better, because nobody wants to be better. They want to just hate. Hating is better for most people, by the way. It's easier to hate, to scream. So the world is going to shit. We have Clanker fighters, we have Odysseys, we have Sonys, we have the death of everything and the renewal of everything. And I do hope that this is not the final death of anything, because with each cycle, it becomes more and more violent and more damage is done. If you recall history, and I do hope that we are alive to see the renewal. And with that said, I want to say hi to all of you in the chat and thank you for being with us. And I think now it's time for the final words. And let's start with Galaxy.
Yeah, well, tonight I'm going to be playing more Crimson Desert. Last week I was actually going to do more of the story, but then I actually did do some of the story, but then I got caught stuck because there was a part where I needed more stamina to get to an area, and I couldn't climb up some things because I didn't have enough stamina. So that means I had to go do side stuff to get more stamina. So I'm probably going to be doing more of that tonight. So I might get back to the story afterwards when I get a little bit higher. But that's what I'm going to be doing tonight anyway. And obviously I haven't stream tomorrow, so it's just Wednesday be the Rumble Revolution on Rumble with Ryan Roger Athe and other people, and we're going to be that night we're going to be playing more Zelda with Link to the Past.
Nice.
So
nice. So I like that you have a full schedule, by the way. I want to have such a full schedule one day when I actually have the time to prepare such a schedule. It's great because you're posting your schedule every time we are going to do a show. It's like, how does he do it? How? It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What about you, Kai?
Pretty much doing some more putting out more videos over on Rustic Rollers, working on getting everything set up for whenever I eventually do the Final Fantasy VII marathon of playing all those games before the new one comes out, and I'm in the works of trying to do a thing where before Doomsday comes out, I will dedicate myself to watch every piece of MCU.
Don't do
Iron
it.
Man,
Don't
all the
do
way
it.
from Iron Man to
Why? Oh no! Actually, you're gonna have a good time up until a point.
So
oh yeah, because
Yeah.
because aside from
You could
the
technically just stop at Endgame anyway because they just said the thing was right in the Doomsday.
Just stop at end game and then continue. with
it's funny because
I'm aware, but from
my
that trailer,
co-host did that. There was like a thing, Kai, like in the actual theater where you could like camp out and be there for like 2-3 days straight of every Marvel movie in order. And he also did it again at home. And he fell asleep as soon as Miss Marvel turned on.
But and that's my thing. I have never seen anything past Endgame aside from the Spider-Man movies and Deadpool Wolverine. So I have never experienced the actual shit. And I will give my actual thorough opinions on what I think of all that nonsense.
Yeah.
We need Silver Ninja to pay him not to do that like he did yesterday for me and Dustborn.
Well then, well, I know what my future plans are. Find a new regular for this show because Kai would have topped himself by the end of that challenge. Christ, Kai, you've just set me back setting up a Saturday show now because now I have to leverage the
being
people
good
for
knowledge
Saturday.
is
It's like, hey, analyst, can you be on Monday? Hey, Cream, can you be on Monday? I know Kai topped himself after watching MCU from 2008 to 2026. Yeah. He thought he could handle Captain Marvel, but by Miss Marvel, he had the gun loaded. Yeah.
By Agatha
I've never
all
even
along,
seen-
it was just over.
I've never even seen Captain Marvel.
Okay,
You should keep
well
it that
then.
way.
Go and check him out. He was great in DC. But in regards to my, isn't that so weird how there's a Captain Marvel in Marvel and DC?
Well, they renamed them to Shazam, even
Shazam, yeah.
though
Well,
even though
the
that's
movie
what he
was like-
says when he turns. So it's kind
In the
of
whole black and white movie, he straight up murders people. It's fucking beautiful. It's better than anything the MCU or the DCU has ever produced. He just throws people off of high places every 5 minutes.
Isn't that what Brie Larson did?
I don't know.
That would actually be a great collaboration for Marvel.
What was the
and
last
DC.
TV series with Samuel Jackson about the Marvels? Where he
Secret
was,
Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I
Jason,
got going on.
This is your future plans.
Yeah. I'm gonna be spinning the wheel later because I got extra wheel spins because Silver Ninja donated money to prevent me playing Dustborn yesterday. So between Roadkill and Silver Ninja, there were a lot of wheel spins donated to yesterday's Sunday wheel stream. So many that they have to spill over into today. I'll be starting off with Adventures of Elliot, then playing 3 different games, then finishing off with a little more Persona 1, which I've been, sort of getting into as of late. And then, of course, tomorrow will be happy hour with John and Ryan Roger Athe. It's not happy. It doesn't last an hour and usually ends with both of them watching a black woman lose her mind for 45 minutes in a row.
I'm telling you, if that happens this time, he's walking.
As long as it's
Like-
not as long as it's not accidental porn.
It's like John. Rule 34, Candace Owens animated because you've just
No.
right. I'll tell you this on Rumble, right? On Rumble, you can show
For Mitch McConnell.
you can show graphic animated pornography on Rumble, and no one has a problem with it,
Unless it's with Mitch McConnell.
right? No one. Rumble doesn't have a problem with it if you show a furry with a massive cock. Dash Attack would love it. He would. He'd love it. You do a show with Neku Boy, and they'd really be on the old white road then.
Oh no!
Because Rumble allows cartoon pornography.
There should be a show climbing the pole. And
I ain't doing that.
exactly what you thought I mean.
There was an
doing that.
entire episode of Cancel His Podcast where John just pulls up Shrek porn for like 20 minutes to agitate me.
No, Shrek is life. Shrek is life.
Yeah, no, we watched
Yes.
that a couple weeks ago again.
Yeah.
But
Guys, how do we exist in a world where the most socially peaceful, economically prosperous person in our space is some 40-year-old Jew fucking bastard who owns his own home, whose kid wants to kill him?
Well, that's because he said the magic words and all of his problems were absolved. Those words are Shabbat Shalom.
Literally. He married a coin clipper and now he's successful. But in regards to my future, don't worry, Alki John doesn't give a fuck. You wouldn't give a fuck if your last name was asshole. Quite literally, in John's case. Hello, doggy. But my future plans, more videos, more shows. The way it's going now, we're going to have a Monday show, Tuesday show, Wednesday show, Thursday show, Saturday show. Sunday show's coming back in August, folks, because I took a month off from that. And then all we have to do is just find 3 or 4 more people and then do a Friday show again, and then we're back to 7 shows a week. Woo! And we will call it the crazy time, right?
Just like we're having right now.
Thank you to Roadkill for the nearly $10 donation, in which
Roadkill
says for $10 that he admires Furious Dan's penis. Well, thank you for that donation, Roadkill. Just to let everyone know, if your donation is blank, I will make up a comment.
Exactly.
Just for future reference.
And by the way, Roadkill is actually getting us closer to the minimum, because this month I have been woefully without a lot of streams and videos, and I'm basically below the minimum for YouTube payout this month, which is for the 21st of July. That's not good, but he actually brought us closer by $10.
We do have peaks and troughs, especially when time is taken off. Don't worry, Maverick. We're going to have a Wednesday Rumble Revolution, and we're trying out this Saturday, and hopefully it'll go fully from August, a Saturday Rumble Revolution show. So that'll mean people will be more flexible. Don't have to have 1 3-hour show when you can have 2 2-hour shows. And I can actually fucking download the shows and use them. So there you go.
Exactly. And for wait. Oh my. Okay, we're getting into gear territory.
Guys. Both Furious Dan and Roadkill are or were married, and both are parents. So none of you are homosexuals. Okay?
I'm gonna keep quiet on that because I have stories to tell, not from me, but in any case.
Yeah,
Not
to
for
be
me.
fair,
I have no kids. I have no kids apart from.
I just have to say that this person has children, so there is that counter. There is that counter that this person. See, I use the word person for YouTube safe. Has children.
None of them came from it, by the way.
Yeah, but this person is a murderer. This person murdered Bruce Jenner. Right? Right? All transgender people are murderers because they killed their previous incarnation.
And then they go back in it, or they eat them. In any case,
what are your future plans?
My future plans are to start streaming again and start doing videos again, because I'm way behind. And again, thank you to Roadkill for actually doing 1/3 of what is needed to be back in the minimum for YouTube, because if I don't, that means that we won't have any donations for the cats that we do. On the brighter side, during my time off, we did have a very good thing happening, and I posted it in my community page, that we actually facilitated the adoption of a cat by another person, which was an absolute amazing story. And I will be talking about this on stream in detail and showing some pictures, because this was an amazing thing, and this is actually what I want to do as a job one day. In other news, I am trying to do stuff for the music channel as well. I did have 2 or 3 songs lined up. I just need to do the drum tracks, and if that happens, I'm gonna be actually kickstarting the music section, the music channel as well. And pretty much that is just trying to get back in the game, because it's been a week, and 1 week without it, when you're used to it, feels like an eternity. It feels like every day that passes, it's like it's getting harder and harder to get the rhythm back. I was actually planning on getting a video today, but couldn't. And this is basically my first appearance on camera since the last episode. And yeah, it shows. But in any case, thank you all for being here with us. It was a great show. I really enjoyed talking about these topics. Again, we have clanker bots that are fighting, and they're gonna uprise just like every sci-fi show that we have seen. We have Sony trying to use indie devs as basically bait and shield. We have the Odyssey probably flopping as we discuss it, and we have pretty much every World War III topic that we actually discussed, because the world is going to shit. So thank you very much. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to the panel. Thank you for all being here. Hopefully we are back next week, and this is not the last show, but if it is, thank you for being here for the last show. And with that said, cheers and stay fresh.
Bye, guys.
Take care.